All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll go questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question for Coach Rolovich, and we'll call on you. First question, Coach Jamie Bennett from Croup Fan. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hi, Jamie.
So obviously the quarterback battle still kind of raging for you. Do you feel like you're any closer after today's practice, or is it still going to be kind of through the week?
I don't know that we'll announce something through the week. I want to make sure we talk to the guys first before we put it out there. Some strong development by both guys. I think we're playing better football, which is good, which is making it a little harder. But one guy's got to take the first snap, and I think we'll feel good with whatever decision we make.
Is there a scenario in which you would play two guys or for significant snaps on Saturday, or you're probably just going to go with one?
I mean, unless we're – I mean, that was a discussion. I think we'll lean against that at this point, unless we're struggling and need a jump start from the other guy.
Do you anticipate releasing two deeps today if some of the other Pac-12 teams have done that, or is that something you guys are going to do?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an idea about what time you might do that?
A little bit later in the afternoon, I think, is what I was told.
On the kind of the injury perspective, do you guys think you're going to be mostly healthy going into this game, or will there be a couple guys who won't be available?
We have some guys but I think the majority of the guys we were counting on will be ready to go. There'll be some getting healthy this week, and we had pretty healthy camp for the most part. We had a ton of guys, so there's a lot of little things here and there, but I feel pretty good about the health, to be honest.
Do you feel like some of the other positional battles have begun to sort themselves out, or is there a few others that are still kind of in limbo?
Well, I think that all the attention is going to the quarterback position on the outside, but there is some confidence we can play with multiple guys at different spots. I know Cade has done a good job at right guard. Strib has done some good things on the outside. But yeah, two deep will come out, and maybe tomorrow, if you have questions on that, we can discuss it after practice.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, next question is going to be Colton Clark, the spokesman review. Go ahead, Colton.
Hey, Coach. Hope all's well.
Thank you, Colton. You too.
So just on Utah State, do you find that it's more of a challenge scouting a first-year coaching staff? Do you find yourself maybe watching more Arkansas State film than Utah State?
I do think that brings a little bit more of a challenge, especially, he brought some guys that he worked with. He brought some guys from different programs. So it lended itself to us studying a bunch of people. And I think there'll be some good discussions game day to kind of get an idea of what's going on both sides of the ball. We're pretty confident they'll use a high level of tempo. So preparing for that has been emphasized. But there's some some Ark State defense, definitely the Ark State offense, and looked at kind of some of the other film where the other guys came from.
We've talked about that high tempo, kind of fast paced offense before. Can you compare it to anything you've seen, or kind of a breakdown of what it looks like? Is it?
Well, I think it's. Go ahead and finish your question. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying it is a lot of quick stuff.
Well, they're not afraid of shots. They're not afraid of running the ball. They're not afraid of trying to get you out of position and taking advantage of it. I think the QB did a really nice job at Ark State, ran that system very well. I think he's a good player. I think there's some definite weapons that, Coach Anderson came into, whether it's the McGriff kid or Scarver. They got some talented guys and did a job on the transfer portal to try to get some guys in the program to provide some impact, I'm sure. And looks like a couple of them are going to make a difference for them. But no, it's the speed, it's the uncomfortableness. those types of things that they prey on.
Do you have any highlighted players from Utah State? Their guys you expect to be their leaders besides the quarterback?
Like I said McGriff seems to be a guy that you got to know where he's at, can make a bunch of plays. I thought, on the Utah State film last year, he did some good things. I can see him being valuable. Obviously, Scarver has had an electric career. Carson Terrell, he's played a lot of football for him at tight end. Interested to see what they do at running back, right? They got some transfers in that seem to be guys they like. So on offense, I think they've got some weapons for sure.
Any of your position groups, your players that you feel like you've kind of highlighted that they'll probably be tested extra this weekend, kind of the onus is on them a little bit more?
Well, I think, conditioning wise, the defense and keeping, their wits about them as things go fast. I think that will be important. Kind of in that back seven, getting a line and making sure we're covering down and just, obeying the rules of the defense, playing hard. We're going to have to tackle really well in space. They like to try to get their guys in space, and we're going to have to make sure we get them down, and be ready for the shots. They're not afraid to take shots, and at least we know that going in.
Defensively, they dial up anything special? Is it pretty straightforward, like a 4-3, or what have you seen from them or expect from them?
Anything specific you mean that I expect from them, or?
Yeah, it just are they prone to send more pressure or anything like that? Or
I guess it comes a little bit off what game or what coach you're kind of studying, right? But I'm sure there's going to be an element of pressure, especially on third down. I think that kind of mirrors up with the mindset of the offense, in my opinion.
And how eager are you to have a gathering of fans behind your back finally?
I'm eager for our kids to get some fans to watch them play. I think they've sacrificed a lot. They've grown strong together. I think they want to show, the fan. They know that the fans are part of their experience. There's an element of wanting to make the alums and our season ticket holders proud. I think it's definitely bringing in some excitement to Saturday.
Now that it's game week, practice today, could you sense a little bit of a shift in the energy? They seem just kind of antsy to go at this point.
I like the focus today. I thought there was, good focus. I know it wasn't a real big, rah practice. It was guys came to get the job done. I just felt like they were dialed in.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach. Next question is going to be Alexandria from the student Evergreen. Go ahead, Alexandria. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to figure out how to unmute, but so I was wondering, how has your experience at WSU been different from Hawaii?
Well, the winter snow was a little different. It's been a little bit, I think there's a lot more similarities just than differences in the fan base as far as what's important to them as people. I think character matters. I think tough football, whether it's the elements, whether it's just playing the game the right way, I think is not necessarily put on a pedestal, but I think it's something that both fan bases like representing them. Really would like to see, with our current situation, haven't seen the game day atmosphere. I think that's probably something that I'm excited to see, just because of how people talk about it with such with such passion, and it's an honest feeling people have, their enjoyment of game day in Pullman. So some of our older players talk about it. You've never seen anything like it, which all adds to this great game of college football that we all love to play. And I'm glad our guys get to play in front of somebody in a few days.
Do you think your coaching styles have changed since you came to Pullman?
My coaching, what?
Your coaching styles, like how you.
I don't think so. In Hawaii, they talk a lot about the aloha spirit and taking care of each other and relying on one another and treating everyone with respect. And I think those are values that are preached here and lived here in Pullman also.
And how do you feel about Governor Inslee requiring all the state employees to get vaccinated?
I think we've been dealing with that enough. I think we're just going to move on with some football stuff today, Alexandria, but I appreciate the question.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Our coach, next question is going to be Keith Oso, Spokane TV, the Bear.
The Bear.
How's it, Coach?
What's going on?
Hey, I just looked for some clarification. I know you've already discussed this, but do you know who your quarterback's going to be? You're just not announcing who it is?
No.
Have you ever been in the first week of a game of a season without knowing who your quarterback is? I mean, it's pretty unusual.
Not sure if I can answer that, honestly. I don't necessarily remember. We've gone in the game in this seasons, thinking we'll play two guys. Yeah, maybe the last few years. I mean, early years with Cole McDonald, maybe we weren't sure what was going to happen, but every year is a new year, and I understand the question, but I like where both guys are right now.
I was going to follow that up with, are you still waiting for someone to step up, or are they both stepped up? I mean, how did that?
I think they both have stepped up recently. I would say the last 4 or 5 practices, maybe 3 or 4 practices. I think there's been, you're adding reps to their day. It's kind of more down to 2 guys getting the majority of the reps. So I think that probably has something to do with it, and it's probably helped both of them.
You talked earlier, or I guess last week, about first game jitters as a coach and what you worry about at night. Not jitters, but what you worry about as a coach going to that first game. What specifically are some of those things that you worry about, other than just the guys being there and showing up?
Make sure we know where the play clock is. Make sure we understand, end of half, end of game situations. Have we gone over them enough? Substitutions. If this happens, and Kyle Krantz does a great job. I think the special teams units really have a lot of that game day fluctuation or changes that, they need to be on their toes with. I think those are some of the things that kind of just keep me up. Did we do enough of this? Did we do enough of that? Are they ready? But this is a mature football team that we have. So I think they've appreciated and also accepted the fact that those little things are important, whether it's ball in the outside arm, running the ball down the sideline, or, just some of those game day situations. At least they've seemed to be attentive and understanding that those can win football games for you.
I know you guys had a short season last year, but considering you had full off season, considering you've got fans in the stands, you know what to expect this time around. Do you feel maybe like this is actually your debut here?
I guess maybe a little bit, right? People seeing it and getting a chance to see how the team's grown and grown together. I mean, I can see that question for sure.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, next question will be Scott Hansen from the Seattle Times. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Coach, I know you might not announce it to us, but when do you want to know for yourself who would be your quarterback? Do you have a deadline for yourself?
Next few days for sure. I don't want to go into Friday night, not knowing us, not knowing. I don't want to do that.
I mean, is it a good thing that both have done so well that they haven't separated, or do you prefer that one that's separated?
personally, I think it's good, but we felt like, there's 4 guys we felt good about throughout the early part of camp, and getting down to 2, getting most of the reps, and then both elevating, I think I think it's a good thing. Maybe some other people don't, but maybe they just want to know who the starter is going to be. But I think it's grown some character in both of them too.
Did you have accomplished what you wanted to in the first few weeks? What kind of grade have you given your team during this training period?
Say that again.
I mean, are you happy what you've accomplished these first few weeks? What kind of grade do you give your team for how they've trained so far?
Oh, I think they've been excellent. I think they've done what we've asked. I think they've held each other accountable. I think there's a collective mindset. This team is very important to the members of it. So I think that's a very positive thing going into the first game.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck Saturday.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next question is going to be from Eric Long. Eric Long, can you please state your affiliation first, please?
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, Eric.
I was just wondering if whoever you have starting at quarterback this week is likely going to be your starter in week 2, where you want to give both guys a chance to play in a game.
Yeah, there's not some diabolical plan to play one in game 1 and one in game 2 at this point. If it happens, it happens, whether injury or not a great performance.
And then do you have any plans to use these first 2 weeks as kind of like a chance to give players a chance to get game experience against 2 opponents that aren't quite Pac-12 level before the USC game, or do you want to kind of just go straight into regular play?
No, we got to win this weekend. That's where our mindset is. I think that's a horrible way to look at things and go into a season, and especially with the talent that Utah State's bringing back, the tempo, the head coach who is a proven winner. I don't even want to hear those conversations from our staff. That to take that mindset, I don't think is right.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right, Alexandria from the Evergreen is back. Go ahead, Alexandria.
Hi, so I was wondering what your goals are for the team this year.
I'd like them to play hard and together for the whole season. Deal with adversity much better than we did last season, whether it be within games or in any aspect of their life, and go game by game, go one game at a time, one day at a time. If the last year's taught us anything, is just to appreciate, the one opportunity we have. You can't look too far ahead. So I guess that would be the thought process, and win as many as we can.
Do you think this team has the potential to make a Pac-12 title game or even a college football playoff game?
I think we should probably talk about that later in the season. I think we have a lot to do still before we go down those roads. But I know they're one of the top teams in my mind of teams I've got to be a part of just by who they are and what's important to them. So,
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, Coach, next one's going to be Nick Duranius from the AP. Go ahead, Nick.
Hi, can you
Hi,
hear me?
Nick. Gotcha.
Can you talk a little bit about your running back situation, especially how many reps you see Max Borghi getting in, or what percentage or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know what if I could put a whole percentage down right now and be held to it. I know we feel good about Max, Dion, and Nakia. Max and Nakia, Max and Dion have both proven in games to be playmakers. I think whatever it ends up being is a thought process of What do we got to do to win the game? I think there's not a fall off. We got to insert another guy, whether it's need a breather or, God forbid injury happens. But I don't know that we will put a percentage on carries. I don't know that we'll get boxed in at that point for the game. But I would expect to see multiple running backs in the game.